welcome to my 13th podcast, my knitting podcast, and welcome back if you're a returning viewer, and if you're new, I hope that you enjoy it. This, as you can see, everything's a bit messy and all over the place, but at the moment my life is kind of messy and all over the place. If you've just joined us, then I should let you know that I am currently staying with my parents in South Africa while I wait for, hopefully, to have my visa approved so I can go back to be with my husband in Edinburgh. So that's why everything's a bit messy and why you see my suitcase over here, but I'll talk about that later. And today is the 1st of June, so happy first day of the month. I think that's about it for the introduction. This is Koo, my co-podcaster, if you haven't met him before. He comes from Edinburgh. Well, actually he comes from Torridon, which is kind of above Inverness in Scotland, but anyway, he's my Scottish Koo, and he's my co-podcaster. Where are your eyes, Koo? There's your eyes. Okay. So where you can find me, I am on Instagram as xubx, and then we also have a Ravelry podcast group, which you can find if you just Google Needle Addict. Sorry, I'm getting a bit confused. If you just Google, if you just search the Needle Addict podcast in the groups section of Ravelry, you'll find it. Otherwise, my personal thing is Craft Needle Addict on Ravelry. And I think that's everywhere for where you can find us. There's also, there are usually show notes. At the moment I haven't been keeping up to date with them like I should have, but usually there are show notes on the website, which you can find a link to on underneath the description in YouTube. So for finished objects, I only really have one finished object, and that is what I'm wearing. So this is actually a sewing finished object, and I did not bring the pattern with me, but this is a New Look pattern. That's not the same pattern, but it's the same brand. This is a New Look pattern, and it's super easy, although I tried to do a v-neck, which apparently is not super easy, so next time I'll try a scoop neck instead. But you can see it's kind of ruched a little bit, although, as I love to quote from Tilly and the Buttons, there are no mistakes, there are only design features. So this is my design feature. But otherwise I'm super happy with this dress. It's really comfy. I'll stand up, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got little pockets in the front and it's super cute. I love it. So that's my finished object. I do not actually have any knitting finished objects for this week, but yes. Okay, for works in progress, I have my mother's shawl, and it is in this lovely project bag which I made a while ago. You can find that in previous episodes. So this, I'm using this yarn, which is the Beelum yarn in Sip Sip, which is a 4-ply yarn, and it's 100% merino, and it's really lovely. And I'm using, for the sort of contrasty bits, I'm using this Elle sock wool, which is a South African yarn. And this color is Bermuda 050. And this is how it's working out. I'm making up this pattern because I wanted something specific and I couldn't really find it. So, I love this. I will probably insert some pictures here or some videos here. Showing you the correct side. So I'm making up this pattern, and I might make it available in the future. But basically what I wanted is that I really like the way that this knits up in stocking knit, but I know my mum wants the shawl slightly bigger, well, on the large side, and I did not feel like doing stocking knit for the whole thing. Like, it just, the pull rows, I didn't feel like it. So I wanted to kind of alternate doing stocking knit and then garter stitch, and then I'll do some more stockinette rows later on, so that you can still see, you get like this nice way that this works up, but then you also get the garter stitch as well, so it's easy, you don't have to do all that purling. And then I added in some decorative eyelet sections, and now I did in the contrasting sock yarn, and then I'll do some more sock yarn later. So I'm really liking how it's turning up. It's super pretty, and as I said, I will probably make this pattern available, so I'm very happy with that. I'm trying to think, oh, I'm doing these I think are, I'm not 100% sure on the size of these needles, because these are old needles from my grandmother and they don't actually say on them, so I have to check, but I think they're a size 5, well there might be a size 4 millimeters, but obviously I will put that up on my project page and everything. I don't think I've made a project page for this yet, or have I? I might. I'll probably have to update it. But I can't really think what else to say other than the fact that I'm loving the way it's working up. It is so beautiful, and I really like the way that this blue kind of complements the yellow and the grey. And I'm super excited for when it's finished because it's going to be beautiful. Yeah. Speaking of other projects which I knit and made up the pattern, last week I spoke about the scarf and gloves which I made for my father for his birthday, and I made up the pattern for the gloves, and I was thinking of selling it, but I'm starting to get cold feet, and I always do this. I hate selling things which I've made, and I thought making a pattern would be better, but apparently it's not any better. I always start second guessing myself, and I start thinking like, oh, it's not going to be good enough or whatever. So I made the gloves to fit my dad, and then I was wondering whether they just fit my dad or whether they'd fit like any man. So there's a guy who works for my dad, and my dad works from home, so his office is just next door, so it's quite easy for me to go there. So there's a guy who works for my dad, and I asked him to try them on just so I could see how they fit. And for him it's a bit tight across the palm here, not like massively, like he can still open his fingers, but it's a little bit tighter, and then the thumb is like way too big. So now I'm having like second thoughts about writing up this pattern and selling it, because I suppose I could knit another one and make it slightly smaller on the thumb and slightly bigger here and see if it still fits my dad, and then just adjust the pattern. But I'm just having second thoughts, like I just feel like it's not going to be good enough. I mean, like when he tried it on, it didn't look like, whoa, that doesn't fit. But it was just what he was saying, how he found like feeling it. So I don't know if he was being like overly critical because I asked for his advice, or I don't know. But now I'm just having second thoughts. So yeah, there's that. The female version, however, still fits. Give me a second, I'll show you. So I haven't done the patterning on it, I've just knit it up, and as you can see there's still lots of ends and that sort of thing. But the actual fit fits me great. See, the thumb's nice and snug, doesn't gape or anything. And I love it. I think it's great. So I suppose I could just sell the female version. And my mom's tried it on in this fit, so, and my sister, it's a bit big for my sister, but my sister has tiny, tiny, tiny hands. So that's the problem with making these things, that everyone has different size hands. Yeah, I don't know. So that's drama in the designing world. Anyway. So that is it for my mother's shawl. Put that down there, it's way too much stuff in this room. Then we are going on to dresses next. So today I totally in my mind double booked. I made a mistake. I forgot that today was Thursday, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna sew or yesterday I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna sew my dress tomorrow, and then I was like, oh wait, I have to podcast today. So anyway, so today, hopefully the rest of the day I will have enough time to sew this dress. I haven't sewed this dress before. I'm sewing this version over here with the little sleeves, but I'm going to do the white contrasting collar, so kind of similar to that but with little sleeves, because I think I've spoken before, I've got quite big shoulders, not like massively big, but I think it's like my own insecurities. So if it cuts off here, I feel like my shoulders kind of like pop out, so I prefer to have like a tiny bit of a sleeve just to cover. So that's the pattern, and oops, this is the fabric that I'm using. This is, so I'm going to make it out of this first, and if I like the way it turns out, then I've got some more in pink. Give me a second, I'll show you. So as you can see, there's another pink version as well. So if the grey one turns out nice, I will make a pink one as well. And I'm going to do the collar just in plain white, but the rest of the dress is going to be in that, and I think it's going to look lovely. So I'm very excited to do that. Obviously I won't be sewing both dresses today, I'll probably only be sewing the one. Or even, I'm not even sure if I'll sew the one or if I'll just cut out the pieces. I'm not sure, we'll see. Yes, so that is that. I don't really know what else to tell you about this. I bought some zips for it. I went to the shop and bought a lot of zips today. So these are the zips. Oh dear, they're all connected. Okay. Yes, I bought a lot of zips. Anyway, so I'll just show you this. Okay, so I brought this nice pink one for this one. I think that will go nicely together. And unfortunately they did not have a grey or dark colour, and they didn't have a cream in this length either, so I went with this to match those little flowers. And I actually don't mind like a contrasting zip. I quite like a little pop of colour here and there. And this is also supposed to be an invisible zipper, so I'm not sure if this is. It doesn't look like an invisible zip. But anyway, it's fine. I'm happy with that. I think it would look nice. So, just that. There are piles of things everywhere. I think I'm going to take a break here. Okay, so the other reason why I bought so many zips, I think I have more here, is because I have been cutting up and sewing project bags. So a while ago I think I might have told you that I cut up a whole lot of fabric for project bags. And yesterday I sewed one up. Oops. And I really like the, this is actually a upholstery material that I got from my aunt. And the nice thing is that this does not have interfacing in it. It is just the outside fabric, and it's got like a little peachy pink lining. But it stands really nicely because the upholstery fabric is a bit thicker. And it still needs a little, I'm going to do like a little zipper pull cover at the end, but otherwise that's that. And I sewed this up and I took it through to show my dad, because as I said, his office is right next door to our house. So I showed him because I was taking a break, and I was just saying, my problem is that, as you will hear later in this podcast, I had a whole lot of drama about fitting all of my stuff into my suitcase. And I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know how I'm going to fit all of my project bags in once I've sewn them up. Because there's just so many. So then my dad pointed out that if I don't sew them up, if I actually leave them as flat material, it will be easier to pack and ship across. Now I do have a sewing machine. I've even got an overlocker in Edinburgh. The reason I started sewing these here is because this was a whole lot of fabric that was left over from just stash that I had here. Today is really going to be a sewing episode, although later on we have acquisitions. I think this is going to be quite a long episode. I'm sorry. But yes, so this, yeah, so my dad said that I shouldn't sew them up, I should leave them flat and ship them across. And so the fabric is from stash that I already had here, and the zips are so much cheaper here. I can't remember exactly what I paid, but it was at least £1, if not £2 for one zip, which is like between 17 and 34 rand. These zips here were less than 4 rand per zip. I know, because the long zip that I bought was 4 rand. These ones were 4 rand. I can't remember how much these little ones are, but it's really, the zips are so much cheaper here. I haven't tried buying online. I might try buying online when I'm back in Edinburgh. But yes, so that's why I bought all the zips here, because it's so much cheaper. But all the other pieces I'd cut out were still sort of in small strips, because I was going to do like a patchwork sort of thing. So I spent yesterday just sewing and sewing and sewing and sewing. So I shall I shall show you that. So I have a whole lot. Okay, So this one didn't actually need any sewing, it's already done as it is, so I already had a zip for this one. This is a lovely tartan fabric which my mom gave me. Unfortunately it's not our family tartan. I believe that the Armstrong tartan has a red stripe in it, but it is still beautiful nonetheless. And I'm using this salmon colour for inside because, as you know, I love a little contrast pop. So that is that one. So this one is ready to go in my suitcase. This fabric, I just ironed on the interfacing for the back. That tartan I didn't think needed interfacing, but this fabric did need interfacing. And this is, was my sister had a top out of this, and it has a nice little ruffle, which I thought would be super cute on a project bag. And I've never done that before, so I just wanted to see how it would turn out. And so I just ironed on the interfacing for the back of that. Oops. Okay, now we get to the interesting ones. So this was, or is rather, fabric, this fabric here, the sort of purpley colour with the flowers, is from a shirt which was first belonged to my mother, and then she gave to me and I wore for quite a while, and then I stopped wearing it and I cut it up and used it for this project bag. And this blue with the white flower is a fabric called shwe shwe, which I believe comes from somewhere in Africa. I'm not entirely sure where, but it's a very beautiful fabric. It's quite a stiff fabric as well, and I used this for making placemats for my husband for Christmas one year. So that's, I love the memories in this. And that has a red thing. Oops. Excuse me. This one I'm going to give to my mother. So it's that same fabric which was the shirt that she wore and then she gave to me. And this blue fabric with flowers as well is just something which she had lying around and she gave to me. So yeah, so it's special, and I'm going to sew this one up completely, so I'm sure I'll show you in a later podcast, because this one's going to be for my mother. This one, I'm not 100% sure, but my mom definitely gave me this fabric, and then my grandmother, I think my grandmother gave it to my mom before that, but my mom definitely gave me this, and it's just so cute. I love it. It's a little kitty cat, and it just looks so homely and cottagey, and I just love it. I think it'll make a lovely bag. And I forgot to mention, this bottom part is just some plain calico which I've been sewing on for the bottoms of the bags. This one, so these two floral pieces are just general floral material which my mother gave me. This kind of greeny blue one with the big spots is my mother and my sister bought it for making, they made little aprons for my kitchen tea, because it was kind of like 1960s housewife inspired sort of thing. I really love my kitchen tea. My kitchen tea was amazing. Sorry, not kitchen tea, my bachelorette. My kitchen tea was just, it was also sort of the same sort of theme, but that was like with all my aunts and lots of people. Whereas for my bachelorette, it was just my close friends, and we went to my parents' holiday house in Azefontein, and we had a blast. I will tell you about that sometime, but this episode's already going to be too long, but it was really amazing. My sister planned it all. And then this last one, which will reoccur later, I used for an apron which I sewed for myself. Okay. This floral fabric, again, is just fabric my mom gave me. I haven't actually sewn with it. And this green stripy one, I can't tell you exactly what I've made with it because I've made so many things with it. I've just used it for when I need like a little bit of extra fabric. I use this because we have a lot of this lying around the house. And again, floral fabric my mother gave me. And then the pink is also just, we have a lot of it. It actually, you might recognize it from last week. My mother used this to line the back of that big knitted blanket she made. So that is quite special as well. But I've also used it in lots of projects, just because we have a lot of it lying around. These two end pieces with the little Hello Kitty designs, I sewed a laptop bag for myself last year sometime, and that was the fabric I used. The pink, I can't actually remember, it's also, we have lots of it, I've used it in many things. And then these colourful rainbow hearts, I've made my sister a pencil case for school and, well, university, and also a tote bag, yes. And these again, sorry, these are all quite thick sort of canvasy material, so these I did not use any iron-on interfacing with. This one's quite funky, I'm quite excited to use it. The yellow with, it's got flash and you can't see him, but it says Superman, and there's also Spider-Man on there. This is from, oh, and Daredevil sort of cut off. But this, I sewed a big pillowcase for my best friend out of. I wonder if this piece has more. Oh, you can see Batman, it's written on there. But anyway, yes. I sewed a big pillowcase for my best friend out of this. And then this pink, red spotty one is also my mother and sister used for my bachelorette party. This purple one is from a dress which I sewed. I might have worn it in a previous podcast, I'm not sure. The pink one has reoccurred. These two, this one was in a previous one, and this one, this pinky orangey one, I actually used these two together for my apron which I sewed. These I have not actually used. There's a lot of it. It's sort of a crepey, satiny type thing, but it's synthetic, it's not natural. We have a lot of this fabric and my mom gave it to me, but I actually haven't sewn anything out of it because I don't really know what to make of this. Maybe like a cushion cover or something, I'm not sure. I haven't really had any ideas for what to make out of this, so I haven't made anything. So I'm actually going to give this one I'm going to sew this one up and finish it and give it to my mom because she likes it very much. I was looking at it and I was thinking, it's not really my colours and I don't really like it, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And then my mom walked into the room and said, oh, that's lovely! So I said, well, would you like it? So that's going to be for my mom. And this last one is also for my mom. This fabric on the end here and this stripy one in the middle I used for cushion covers, which I sewed for my husband and my first house. And then these two, I think my mom gave me this olivey one, and this blue print I think I also bought for cushions, but I never go around to sewing them. And this one's also going to my mom because she also really likes this one. So that is a lot of project bags. I think I've got 10 which I'm still going to sew for myself, and then there's plus this one which I've already sewn, and then plus these three which I've shown you in previous podcasts, and so it's a lot of project bags. I don't know what I'm going to do with them all. My dad and my husband keep saying, oh, you could sell them, but the problem is that they have so many memories. They're all little bits of things which I've already sewn projects out of, so they're kind of like, you know how people have their sock memory blankets. I have my my memory project bags, so I'm just gonna have a lot of project bags because I can't bear to part with them. The ones I'm giving to my mom already are the ones that, like, yeah, those are the only ones I can bear to part with, and they're still gonna be in the family. And then for the last thing in whips, I have sort of last thing of whips. My mother has a friend who's sorry for all the crinkling, put that down. My mom has a friend who's allergic to wool. There seem to be a lot of people in South Africa allergic to wool. I wonder if it's a genetic thing that it's so hot here that we don't really need wool, or maybe it's just coincidence, I don't know. But she has a friend who's allergic to wool, so I'm going to knit her a scarf because obviously you can't make socks out of acrylic. But these are the colours. I'm so excited. She likes sort of bluey sea colours. Crinkle, crinkle. It's going to be lovely. I'm so excited. and I'm gonna make up sort of like different patterns use different stitch patterns for different sections of the scarf. I'm just very excited about that. And those are all acrylic wools. These are mainly, these are all Elle. And actually I think every single one of these, no, this is the only one which isn't. So these three colors are all Elle wools, which are South African, sorry, not wool, acrylic yarn. And this is the only one I think which isn't. But this is also South African. It's distributed by Kismet Yarns, Orchestrate Krugersdorp, which I'm pronouncing wrong because I can't roll my R's. I'm sorry, Afrikaans people who are listening. But yes, this is also South African, but I've never actually seen it before. This was given to us by someone. Yeah. And then these ones, this packet of this, my mom actually picked up at a second-hand shop. I was with her, and there was a whole packet full of the sweater quantity, and I think she got a sweater knitted out of it by my gran, or maybe she had a shawl, I'm not sure. My gran's knitted my mom a lot of shawls, kind of big blanket shawls, but there's quite a bit left over, so I'm going to use some of this as well. But this is kind of also unknown acrylic yarn. So I think we need to take a break here and maybe tidy up a tiny bit. So for my last little section, I think, might be second last, I'm not sure. I'm probably going to pick the camera up and show you the rest of this stuff. But I just wanted to let you know beforehand the little story that goes behind it. So about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was standing in the line at Pick n Pay with, so I'd already gone to the fabric shop, and next door was a Pick n Pay, which is just a grocery store. And I was standing in queue with a knitting book, and so a guy behind me said to me, "Oh, do you knit?" So I said, "Yes, I knit." And he said, "Oh, now I'm not sure about this part of the story, because he told my mom, I'm not sure whether it's his aunt or great aunt or sister, could be his sister, I don't know, is in hospital dying, which is very sad, and he is currently busy clearing out her space at Communique. Communique is kind of like a government grant housing for people who are struggling financially, and so he's clearing out the space there so that the Communique can have it back. And apparently she has a lot of knitting stuff. So he wanted to know if I wanted to take a look through it. So I said yes, and I took his number and everything, but I went home to my dad first, and my dad came with me the first time because it's probably good practice everywhere, but specifically in South Africa, it's not good to meet strange men you've never met before on your own, like kind of randomly. So my dad, because he works for himself, he can kind of take off like 20 minutes off work and it's fine. So he came with me to meet Greg, and Greg had like a big bag full of yarn. Now it was only my dad with me there at the time, and when I looked at some of the yarn, it was like quite scratchy, and I was like, not sure about it. But I looked at all of the stuff, and some of it was a bit scrappy, but I mean some of it looked quite nice, and there were some needles and things in there. So I paid him, I asked him if he was happy with 50 Rand, and he said yes, he's happy with 50 Rand, so I gave him that, and he said that all the money's going to go to the Communique. I don't really mind what he does with the money, to be honest. He's giving me something and I'm paying him for it. He can do whatever he wants with the money, but anyway. So I gave him 50 Rand, and then I got home and my mom looked through some of the stuff with me, and she was like, no, this is worth more than 50 Rand. So then I felt quite bad. But he then called me again later because he had my number, and he said no, he's found more stuff. So this time my dad still came, and this was then later, I think it was the next week, so I think last week Monday, yeah, my mom and my dad came with. So my dad yeah, sorry, my camera shut off. So I still have a whole lot of yarn left that was from when I left here the first time in January, when I went to go help my husband find a place and settle down. So I was really worried about how I was going to fit it in. And then my mom, he called again. I think my mom had said, oh, she might call him, so she thought she better call him just to, like, whatever. And then he said, no, he's got more stuff for us. He's got a whole lot or whatever. So we decided, okay, this is the last time. So we went on Tuesday, I believe, and we went and looked, and he had some lovely pattern books and that sort of thing, and embroidery stuff and that sort of thing. So I think we gave him like another 100 rand or whatever. So I think in total it was like 250 rand that we gave him. But anyway, it was a lot of lovely stuff. But he said he was just taking the stuff down to the dump and throwing it away if we didn't want it, because he doesn't knit or sew or anything else. So. But I'm very happy. A lot of the stuff I'm not actually going to show you because it's just like little scrappy balls of yarn, like small pieces that we're actually going to give to my gran, because my gran, she knits like little teddy bears for charity and that sort of thing, and little blankets and things, so we're going to give her those, because actually going through a lot of the stuff reminds me a lot of going through my gran's wool. But yeah, I think from now on I'm probably going to hold the camera to show you, because it'll be easier that way. So this is a whole lot of stuff which I really wanted to take with me, but in the end I decided that there actually wasn't space for it. So I love this woman's tension. It's beautiful. She was such a great knitter. I really wish I could actually meet her and chat to her and that sort of thing. So this is a beautiful jersey. It's obviously not finished. It's partway done. And I was thinking of pulling it out and using this for something else, but I really don't have space in my bag. So hopefully my mom or my gran will have something to do with this. So there's more of that over here. Oops, those are just other needles. It looks like maybe it was going to be a cardigan or something, because this looks like kind of a button band or something. Sorry, I'm showing you the wrong side of it. There we go. So that's beautiful. And then there's also this wool, which I'm not actually sure, I can't tell from the label. It doesn't say whether it's actually wool or acrylic, but it is super soft. And there's definitely enough in here for a shawl. So I really wanted to do something out of that, but unless I have time to knit it here, I'm not going to be able to do that. And then I don't even know what this is. It's just like some really thick thread. And there's some, oops, this is mohair, which is really nice. And there's like, I think a whole lot of this, which I thought could also make a nice shawl. But that's actually acrylic, and so is this. So I decided, even though there's quite a lot of it, it's just not worth taking across when it wasn't even mine to begin with. And then we have my suitcase. If you saw on Instagram, I was having a bit of a panic attack the other day because I couldn't fit it all in, because I have boxes that I want to take, because obviously it's good to keep your yarn in boxes for moths and things. So I don't know what I'm going to do about clothes. Let's not talk about clothes. Yep, that is full of wool up to the top. So there is space underneath, because my suitcase has a bit of a ridge. I think it's for structural stability, and so there's space underneath these boxes, so I put more wool yarn underneath, and then oops, I stacked two boxes inside of each other, because the one box is slightly smaller than the other. So we've got two boxes here, two boxes there, and they're empty, and then I filled them up with stuff. This is some of the stuff that I got from Greg, which I have no idea what it is. My mom says it's wool, proper wool, but it's like 4 strands held together. I don't know. So I don't really know what I'm going to make with it, but I really want to make something. I think it's going to be lovely. I also got this from Greg. This is cotton, and that's really nice. And then a lot of the stuff is my own. A lot of it is actually acrylic. There's a lot of this charity knit, double knit, which is the Elle brand sort of double knit acrylic thing. but I really like it for making like little toys, or if I'm making like a if I'm trying to make up a pattern and I'm not sure what I'm doing, then I like to use that, because then if it turns out terrible, then I don't feel like I've wasted a lot. And also I have about I don't know, like 90 pounds worth of it, so I don't want to. It also makes really nice blankets, so I don't want to just leave it here. Let's see what else there is. Okay, so these are a whole lot of needles and stitch holders that I got from Greg. These are the cutest little embroidery hoops. I've never seen one like that before. I've only seen those sort of wooden ones that you have to adjust, kind of like this one. But yeah, so this is super cute. And then I found my tatting bobbins that I want to bring back. So you can make lace out of that, and then so I have a lot of tatting thread in here as well. And then this is just a whole lot of embroidery thread, which I got from Greg. And there are some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful embroidery pattern, sort of, I don't know what you call them. Are these embroidery patterns, or because the pattern's already on there, I think it washes off when you wash it. I don't know what you call it, but I think it's beautiful, and they kind of, a lot of them are half done, and I really want to finish them because I think they're beautiful. So this is all sort of wool and stuff. This one is largely kind of these embroidery things. This is beautiful. This is absolutely stunning. This is a I think it's a cushion cover. And this, I'm pretty sure, is tatted. That looks like tatting to me. So like these look like they might be crocheted, the little middle bits, but these outside bits definitely look like tatting to me. I can't imagine how long it must have taken to make this. So I'm very excited about that. And then there's this. This is completed, but it's, how cute is that? Little cross stitch tree. And then there's just like a whole lot of all these patterns. The only thing is, like, this one's really wrinkled, and I was thinking it'd be nice to wash it, and then, but I'm worried that this pattern's gonna come out if I wash it. And some of them are also quite old, so they got like a little bit stained in places, and I don't know if any of you guys have any tips and tricks for getting that sort of stuff out. I think it's gonna be easiest if I just take this all out. Whoops. Okay, so that was that. Those. These are just like little napkins that you can use or embroider on. This is gonna turn out looking like that, which is another kind of cross-stitch embroidery pattern. This is stunning. I don't even know what this is, but that is just, oops, that's upside down. So cute. More napkins. This is going to be like an apron, but it's embroidered, so you do the embroidery and then it's an apron to wear, which I think is adorable. This one I kind of showed you, it's kind of got like cobwebs in between, but this one, yes, this one was stained, and I don't know, you can see there, it's stained, and I don't know if anyone has any ideas on how you can lighten that or whatever, because that is just gorgeous. I really want to finish this. So this is the wrinkly one. This is a big tablecloth as well. I'm not going to open it up now. That's just some really cute fabric. I thought it could make like a nice project bag. Shh, don't tell my husband. And that's another embroidery cloth. And then, oops, there's a whole lot of knitting patterns. And I'm super excited for these. And they, like, a lot of them are really like old vintagey sort of patterns. And this, I am so excited about this. This is literally a little book of stitches. So on the one side you have like crochet stitches. And then on the other side you have like knitting stitches. And these are quite expensive if you get a similar sort of thing in the shop. So I'm super excited that I've got this. But otherwise, there's lots of magazines, and then like little vintagey looking pattern books. Oops. Trying to see. It's just loads of them. I don't really know what to show you of them. But they're super cute and I'm super excited to knit some things from them. Yeah, so that's everything, and I really didn't want to leave it behind, and so I decided that crafting things take precedence over clothing. So I don't know what I'm going to do about clothing. I've packed, to be honest, I didn't bring very much clothing over because I knew I was going to bring stuff back, so I kind of brought the minimum. So this section up here is largely empty, so hopefully I will have space for clothing up here. So we've got beads that I bought to bring across, and one scarf and the lids for the boxes. So there's a bit of space for clothing in there. Can fit in my pajamas. I pretty much, the space that's in there is how much clothing I brought across. Although remember, I'm still sewing dresses and stuff that I've got to bring, so I don't really know what I'm going to do. Although my cousin has a one of those bags that sucks the air out. English is failing me right now. Vacuum pack bags, maybe? She's got one of those, so, and she said I can have it. Although I think I'm coming back for some weddings in December, so I can probably bring it back to her anyway if she wants it back. So maybe I can get the clothing to kind of get smaller in there. So anyway, that is why my dad suggested that I do not sew up those bags, because they're going to be easier to pack if they're flat. Okay, so my camera battery is flashing at me, so I have to do this super quickly, but I still have this bag, which you can't really see. Move this back. Sorry. Okay, so this is my this is like my hand luggage travel bag. Oh, that I can still bring, and I'm kind of hoping that I can maybe get a tiny bit more clothing in there, maybe. It's already got some clothing. Sorry, I'm adjusting my chair. But so I'm going to show you from the bottom. It's very nifty how it opens up at the bottom. Anyway, so here are some things which I'm bringing across, and also which I have already knitted or crocheted. So this is, the ends still need weaving in, but this is a cushion cover which I crocheted, kind of granny square style. It was inspired by some succulents which I had, and I just needed to sew like a backing onto it, and then I can make it into a cushion cover, so I want to bring that across. Sorry, I'm trying to go quickly. This is all acrylic. This is a bag which I got the pattern from Addict 24. It's a crochet bag. Super cute. So I usually keep my wool in here. So there's that. This is a blanket which I knit, and my gran helped me knit some of them as well. I knit these in the same style that my mom did. Sorry. So that is knitting in the diagonal, and I've just got buttons. Lots of the buttons came from friends. They just gave me buttons that they had, and then I kind of put them on so that it helps keep it attached. And then it's a bit of a strange shape. I don't know how to show you this, but it kind of goes, it's got like a rectangle, and then the bottom part kind of comes out in more of a triangular shape. And I did that so that it could sit on your lap and then wrap around the bottom of your legs. So this is just like a little lap blanket that I made. And this I made quite a few years ago. I think I was just out of high school when I made it. But yeah, so that's something I made that I want to bring across. And then okay, there's the yarn which I bought for you guys, which obviously has to come across, but there's this. This is a blanket which is not finished at all. Some of it isn't even sewn together. So this was inspired by colors of seashells that I saw at the one beach near us, and it is not finished. I haven't finished crocheting up all the squares. There's a whole bunch of squares in here that need to be done, and then there's more that need to be crocheted up, so there's the spare yarn in here that needs to be used. So I have a lot that I'm trying to bring back with me.
And I'm not 100% convinced that it's all gonna fit. But the bright side about clothing is if I can't fit it all in, is that I am like, I'm 90% sure I'm coming back in December, so I can bring back more stuff. And my camera is seriously, well, my sister's camera that I'm borrowing is seriously flashing red at me right now, so I hope that you're enjoying that. And just at the end, I'm going to see if I can fit this in because I think this video is going to be quite long. But I just want to say that at the moment I'm still just waiting on my application. I've sent the application in and I'm just waiting for them to say yes or no. So it's kind of a game of hurry up and wait, but I'm seriously getting to the point where I'm really, really missing my husband and I just want to go home. Like, I've stopped enjoying doing like touristy things and seeing people and that's like, I just want to go home. I just want to be with my husband and in my space and in my home again. So yeah, I've been playing quite a bit of computer games, just like, because I tend to do that when I get really down, then I play computer games to kind of like live in another world. So you've probably seen on my Instagram I've been playing quite a bit of Stardew Valley, which is just like a sort of farm simulator game. You do mining and all sorts of things. Anyway, it's quite a fun game. It's quite a cute little game. So yeah, I've just been mooching because I just want to go home. But yeah.